What's up, guys? So just going over some saddle hunting basics. So right now I already got my saddle on. I'm running the Aero Hunter Kestrel Flex this year. I really like this. It's got like thicker straps, so they hug my hips a lot better than I ran a tethered one last year. They had thinner straps. I'm not sure if that's it, but you know, my biggest complaint last year was that it went in longer sits, it'd start like really constricting on my hips and like digging into my hips. So I actually got like padding for my hips. I've sat in this thing for like 3 hours one day when I was just out messing around, and I haven't had that issue because I think the straps are thicker. It's just based on where the loops are and everything. So anyway, I really like this Aero Hunter Kestrel Flex. Got a buckle in front, 2 leg straps, got a bridge coming across that is actually adjustable, so I can make it long, I can make it short, just depends on what I'm feeling today and what my comfort level is. And then I got my tether. So how this works is you take your tether, so you climb up your tree, right? I'm pretending I'm up on my tree. You take your tether, you wrap it around, you got this big loop here, put your cam through that loop, and then you want this right about kind of head height, and we'll talk about that why, but you want it about head height to start out with, or so. Some people like it a lot higher. This is a huge preference thing, so I just like to start it at head height because it's easy. And then I take my bridge and my cam here and I just hook in, close it up, and I am hooked to the tree and I'm ready to go. So this is how saddle hunting works. You got to tighten this up. I like that nice and tight, but then you lean back. The pressure from your body weight pulls the rope onto the tree and doesn't allow the tree to fall, and then you can just sit and hang. So you can see I'm hanging right here. That's how that works. If I slide this up real quick, we can get a better shot of that. Cool. All right, so that's up there. I'm gonna shorten my bridge up as well, so it's nice and tight. So shorten that up. So here we go. So now I'm hanging. This is kind of how saddle hunting works. You'll have a platform down below you where you're standing on, but this is what keeps you hooked up to the tree, and this is what keeps you hooked up to the tree and keeps you here and stable. So essentially from here, you know, I'm just pretending like this would be where my feet are. They would be on a platform, so I'm going to drop down pretending they're on a platform right now. That's where they are. And then from here you like hook up your bow to the tree, hook up your camera, whatever you got and stuff like that. And you can draw and shoot. You can shoot anything. And people think this bridge gets in your way of drawing your bow. It doesn't, because you just swing to the side and you're fine. You can shoot virtually 360 degrees around the tree. My favorite shot out of it so far is kind of straight back. I really like that. Straight over back to my left, you know. So the bridge does not get in your way. There's many ways around it. Right now, yeah, if I wanted to do this, I can't. But all you got to do is just lean a little bit and, excuse me, and you're fine. So those are kind of the basics here. I really like saddle hunting. I like it a lot because it's so lightweight and it's so convenient, and it's just easy to use. As far as comfort goes, that's the thing that people think is like the worst, is like, oh, it's got to be uncomfortable. It's not. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You just got to try it. It's like, you know how when you sit in a hammock's really nice and comfortable? It's kind of like a one-man hammock. So like, if you think hammocks are the most uncomfortable thing in the world, then you probably don't want to saddle, but I haven't met any of those people yet. So it's kind of, like I said, it's like a one-man hammock, and it just lets you sit here, and it pulls on your hips a little bit, but that's what your tether and your bridge length are for. So if it's pulling on your hips and it's pulling too much up, like vertical, then pull your tether down, and then it won't pull as much, and you can lean back more. So that's kind of where all the comfort plays in. It's playing with your tether and playing with your bridge length and how much you want to lean back and how much you want to stay close to the tree. That's all a preference thing, and that's a comfort, and that's something you got to figure out on your own. Me personally, or I should say, a good place to start is just start with your tether at eye level and your bridge fairly tight, and then just work on it from there. Like I would start with loosening your bridge, or like raising or lowering your tether as your second point. So For me personally, I like my tether right about eye level, and then I keep my bridge. It depends on how far I want to be away from the tree, depends on what vegetation I have and stuff like that. Because if I want it a lot shorter, I can just shorten my bridge up and I can be, you know, like this far off the tree versus this far versus kind of like right up on it. It just depends on every situation and every different scenario. So that's where all the comfort stuff plays in. As far as being safe, I mean, you're hooked to the tree. It's like wearing a safety harness, and that's your tree stand is your safety harness. So that's like, you're not going to get away from that, or you're not going to fall out of this tree once you're hooked in. You're just not. You're in. So that's kind of the saddle hunting basics. If you have any questions or anything, drop them down below. I'm gonna unhook. The other thing I really like about this is, like, so once you're done, like say you're hunting public land and you got to unpack, you got to pack in your stand, pack out your stand. You know, packing out a stand, you got to unhook your buckles, lower it down, pray to God that your seat doesn't fall over and go clang, and it's big and you got to pull it through branches and stuff like that. Whereas this, like, you put your lineman's belt around the tree, which I don't have right now, but you put that around the tree, and then all you do is just take your cam, you unhook your tether, you know, and you pull off your tether, and now you're connected to your tree with your lineman's, which would kind of be like this, something like this right here. And then you can climb right down and you're connected to the tree the whole time. You don't have to worry about clanging a tree stand. You don't have to worry about getting down and packing it all up. It's just right here. And when you're walking out, one of my hot tips is to actually unbuckle your leg straps. So I had the issue last year, these leg straps, I was walking about a mile and they wore a hole right in my crotch. So when you get down, unbuckle your leg straps, and now you just, like, you grab your climbing sticks, you have 2 ropes that you put in a backpack, and you're walking home. So, you know, that's the gist of it. I really enjoy this saddle hunting stuff. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a proponent of it, obviously. I do have a Lone Wolf system. I ran that for many years. So I ran that for like 4 or 5 years, and I really liked that too, until I got this. And I would say that 9 times out of 10 I'm taking my saddle versus my Lone Wolf system. That one time I'm taking my Lone Wolf system is if I have a short walk and I'm sitting all day. Like, that'd be the only reason. Or, you know, sometimes in a tree stand you always shoot to your left, right? So if I set up a tree stand here and I wanted to shoot over here, like, I would set up a tree stand and I'd be shooting to my left. If I were hooked up in a saddle and I couldn't hook up on this side of the tree, I wouldn't be able to, I mean, I would, but it'd be like a whole turnaround shot. So then I might use my tree stand. But like I said, 9 times out of 10, I'm taking the saddle. It's lighter, it's easier to pack, it's less cumbersome, less noisy. It overall, it works really well. So that's my tips on saddle hunting. Like I said, if you got any questions or anything, drop them down below. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more saddle hunting as well as deer hunting tips, tactics, all that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. All right, catch you guys later.